All right, takeaways. Going to talk about a lot of things we already talked about. Play calling. I want you to go off of play calling. What did you see? What would you like to see better? I know it's hard if we don't see the tape,
Right.
but I think there's going to be a lot of issues with the play calling.
Yeah, and I hate to like criticize play calling because you're not there. You didn't scheme up the defense. From my perspective, I'm always biased about the offensive side, but you didn't scheme up, so you don't know what they were thinking when they were thinking it. But a lot of our problems in the previous games have been our pullers and them not really knowing who to block, like if on movements, like teams have keyed in on the fact that we can't handle movement. It's a fact right now.
Movement
like,
on the defensive line.
On the defensive line. Like, I mean, we had, like you said, they had 3 rushes, and we literally let people go who we were sliding to. The guards, they were letting people run right through the A-gaps. That's the most important part of the offense. You have to protect the A-gap. Especially, on runs, passes, anything, you have to protect the A-gap. And there were times they were running scot-free. But it's hard to call plays. When you're letting guys freeze. Like, what do you call?
Yeah.
But again, if I had to criticize the play calling, it would be because we didn't take what they gave us.
And that's going to be our third one. So we'll get into that more. It's a lot of similar stuff, a lot of run over. My takeaway is that we got to get away from Sam running the ball and leaning on that. And we saw today 3 fumbles. He's a little loose in the pocket. It's not always going to be there, and establish the run with running backs. And we didn't do that, and look what happened. We lost. Last game, what did we do? Establish a run. Things look a lot better, so open things up. I think Sam running is like a special situation.
Yeah.
It's 3, 4, 5 times a game.
A wrinkle.
Yeah, a wrinkle, exactly. Maybe a couple designs and a couple times when he's rushed. And I want to give a shout out to Georgia Tech's defense. I thought they flew around. I thought they played great. I thought they limited a lot of what we did, and UNC did not make adjustments at halftime, and they did. Okay, back to taking what the defense gives you. We talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
They rushed 3
a
lot of the game, Georgia Tech, and dropped 8. Didn't leave much for UNC to do passing-wise. Your take on that and kind of how do you balance running and passing?
Yeah, again, if you don't establish the run, there's no need for them to even put that many people in the box. They had, I think they were playing a 3-4, and they had maybe a linebacker walk up on the edge sometimes. But for the most part, they had a nose and 2 real ends, and they were stand-up ends, or sometimes they put their hand in the dirt. But on those plays, you gotta be able to run, like. Especially on the outside zone, you have to be able to run that. You get the ends running, and the gaps are already naturally there. So if you get the guys running and you get the kick-out blocks, the same thing we had happen last week could have happened this week.
I'm not very impressed with the offensive line. They had a big step back.
They have some big problems in that line.
And Brian Anderson started, and then Quarion Johnson finished the game. So I'm not sure the snap differential there. I thought they were lazy at times. You get sacked 8 times.
Yeah.
Someone's on Sam. Sam's got to get rid of the ball quicker.
That's true, too.
And someone's on the offensive line. Yeah. So I think there's some issues there that continue. And I give credit to Georgia Tech getting pressure with 3 defensive linemen, sometimes 4. But they harassed Sam, and when he's not comfortable, he didn't make plays.
Yeah, he didn't. I think that was the thing, too. Like, him holding on to the ball was a combination of him not being comfortable with where the rush was coming from, because it was coming in all different directions with the blitzes, and they just didn't block anything up for him. And him holding on to the ball, and after the fumbles, I think he got a little bit more just apprehensive of the plays he's capable of making.
And when you rush 3, you can drop 8,
right,
and no one's open. And I think that's what happened a lot.